Hello weirdos, welcome back to my channel. My name is EmmaAbe and my hair is driving me crazy. And we talk about books here on this channel. Alright, so today we are going to be doing a book haul. This is a book haul I got over the summer. So the conceit behind this book haul is I got all these things in Cincinnati. Now this is filmed when I was still over the summer and when I was in Chicago, so gonna be in Cincinnati by the time you see this. But over the summer we went to Cincinnati to visit relatives, and we actually spent the 4th of July, and I had to do 2 book related things. The first is I had to pick up a box of books that I had accidentally sent to my previous address that was from Better World Books. So I sent a shipment of Better World Books to my old address accidentally. Oops. I also had about $140-ish dollars. Yeah, $140-ish dollars of books to spend at like a couple of bookstores. Like one of them was a local bookstore that I'm forgetting the name of. Oh well, but it's a local bookstore in Cincinnati, and I had actually more money for the bookstore connected to my university. The reason I had that is because part of my scholarship is given through bookstore gift cards. They stopped that during COVID, thank goodness. However, I still had money left over from my 3rd year in school. For reference, I'm now in my 5th year, so that kind of shows you how long it takes to like spend this money. Anyway, so I decided I was going to blow all of this money in one trip to Cincinnati. Let me first talk about the books that I got from Better World Books. All right, and a lot of these books I got for Better World Books were for a video idea. So the first one, oh, they also gave me stickers. So thank you, Better World Books, for giving me stickers. The first book is Tiger Eye by Marjorie M. Liu. I do not know what this book is about. It's the first book in a series. I know it's fantasy. This does have an audiobook, so that's great. So reading off the back cover, it says, he looks out of place in Della Reese's Beijing hotel room, exotic and poignant. Some mythic, tragic hero of an epic tale. With his feline yellow eyes, he's like nothing from her world, yet Della has danced through the echo of his soul and knows the warrior will obey her every command. Hari has been used and abused for millennia, but he sees upon his release from the riddle box, this new mistress is different. There's a hidden power in Della's eyes, and with her, he may regain all that was lost to him. Where once he savaged, now he must protect. Where once he knew only hatred, now he must embrace love. Della is the key. For Della, he will risk it all. So that's this one. I thought this was interesting and it's connected to a video why I got all these books. So anyway, the next book is Luck in the Shadows. This is by Lynn Felwig. Again, this is another fantasy. It's part of the Night Runner series. It looks cool. The cover looks pretty cool. And again, reading off the back, it says, when a young Alec Carey is taken prisoner for a crime he didn't commit, he is certain that his life is about to end. But the one thing he'll never expected was his cellmate. Spy, rogue, thief, and noble, Sergio of I don't know how to pronounce that, is many things, none of them predictable. When he offers to take on Alec as his apprentice, things may never be the same for either of them. Soon Alec is traveling roads he never knew existed, towards war he never suspected was brewing. Before long, he and Sergio were embroiled in a sinister plot that runs deeper than neither can imagine, and that may cost them far more than their lives if they fail. But fortune is unpredictable as Alec's new mentor, and this time there might be luck in the shadows. So that is this book. Not gonna have much to say about the ones that I got from Better World Books because I got them all for a reason, for a video that I will eventually be doing. All right, the next book I got from Better World Books, they will stop sticking together, is another fantasy, another like science fiction, and that is Serpentine by Cindy Pohn. This is not the first Cindy Pohn book that I've gotten in this haul. There will be more, essentially. And again, this is a fantasy one, and this one looks really interesting, I thought. So this says, a lush portrayal of a life in ancient kingdom of Xia, and inspired by the rich history of Chinese mythology, this sweeping fantasy tells the coming of age of a girl who worries about the startling changes in her body. I know, puberty, honey, it sucks. 16-year-old Skybright, a companion and handmaid for the youngest daughter of a wealthy family, experiences a growing otherness so troubling she will risk everything to conceal her dark secret from everyone, including the boy she's falling in love with. That's intriguing. I'm excited. The other Cindy Pohn book, I just figured out I would pick it up, is Silver Phoenix. This one doesn't have an audiobook, however, Serpentine does. So that's nice. So this is Silver Phoenix. Again, this one looks interesting. Again, they're both fantasy and parts of series. So Silver Phoenix, the description on the back says, her spirit surged. She concentrated on the on the immense cadaverous heart, focused on her grief and ire. What she could heal, she could also destroy. Her spirit whirled around in a frenzy. The heart erupted and splattered. The beast howled once before it fell to its knees. It toppled, nearly pinning Chen Yong beneath its rotten bulk. She snapped back into her own body, woozy, her head bent over the cold floor. Her trembling hands barely able to hold herself up. Strong arms pulled Ai Ling to her feet. "Are you all right?" Chen Yong asked. He took her dagger, still clutched in one hand, and sheathed it for her. So interesting. Seems to be some action. I am interested to see what happens. Continuing on, there's only a couple more. So the next book the next books I got from Better World Books are all nonfiction. The next one I got is Unnatural Selection, Choosing Boys Over Girls and the Consequences of a World Full of Men. So this is going to be a sciencey book. I think it's going to be right up my alley. I have a feeling it's going to be very similar to a book that I cannot think of the name. Anyway, it's going to be a very interesting examination of, like, I guess data bias, but not even data bias, but just like the science relays and science issues that come into effect of just not like acknowledging the existence of women. This seems weird, but that's what it is. And this one does have an audiobook. So the next book is, unsurprisingly, at least to me, Will the Boat Sink in the Water? The Life of China's Peasants. This is by Chen Guodi and Wu Chuntao, and it's translated by Zhu Hong. And this is just what it says on the tin, and I'm excited. And this one does have an audiobook as well, so that's exciting. And the last one I got from Better World Books is Imagined Communities. This is by Benedict Anderson. And this is going to be like more of an anthropological like approach, discussion to like nationality and our sense of communities that we create that are essentially imagined. And this one's exciting. And this one does also have an audiobook. So made good choices in terms of choosing books that had audiobooks. The next books I'm going to be talking about are the ones I got from the local bookstore in Cincinnati area. Honestly, I chose 2 nonfiction books, and I spent more than the $20 gift card that I had there, but I was happy. I also wanted just to spend the gift card. So the first book I got is Fathoms, The World in the Whale by Rebecca Giggs. I don't know. But this, first of all, looks beautiful. Second of all, it's about whales. And if you guys have been watching my videos, my haul videos recently, y'all know I've been buying a lot of science books about animals. And this is just another one. I might have to make it a whole separate category in my category organizations on my bookshelves because I buy so many. But yeah, this one was actually in the running for the BookTube prize. I do not believe it made it past the second round. That makes me excited to read this one. And along the same kind of vein, but also different, is Stranger in Shogun City. This is by a Japanese woman in her world. This is by Amy Stanley. I heard that the research was good on this, and there's just a few like nitpicky things in terms of the research that I've heard of from different people on YouTube. But yeah, this is telling the story of, what is her name? Of Sunio. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but she lived in Edo, Japan. So it's going to be looking at like life in Edo, Japan, which is really interesting. I don't know that much about Edo, Japan other than just kind of like vague things. Yeah, I'm excited to read it. This was also in the running for the BookTube prize, and I think again it didn't make it past the second round. Yeah, but this was one of the ones that I think I originally voted for. I believe I also originally voted for Fathoms too. So those are the two that I got from that bookstore. So moving on to the books that I bought from the university bookstore. Actually, funny story. So I went in and I went up to the desk and I was like, check how much is on this gift card, because I knew I wanted to blow it all and I didn't want anything left over. So they checked it and they were like, oh, you have like $120. And I was like, great. So I'm going to blow $120 on books from this bookstore. And that is actually fairly easy to do because all the books at the bookstore are full priced. What can you do? It is a university bookstore. They're going to charge whatever prices they want. Tip, if you want to buy school supplies, do not buy them from your university bookstore because they will be more expensive. Always. All right. So I went and I picked out these books and I calculated exactly. I calculated it all up and it was over that $120 before tax. So I was like, great, I'm going to blow this entire gift card and I'm going to have to pay like with my card for like part of these books. Great, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. I get up there with my stack of books that is more than the amount I have on the gift card. And I get up there and they're like, oh, are you a student? And I was like, oh, yes, I am a student. They're like, great, students get a discount. And I was like, no. So the total of the books wound up being like slightly less than $120. I think it was about like 118 or something like that. So there's only a few dollars left on my gift card. And I was so upset. I mean, I'm grateful that they're giving students a gift discount. I think they should. But it was just very frustrating because I wanted to blow all that money. Luckily, I spent it a couple of hours later when my parents wanted to buy other things from the bookstore. So I was like, hey, use like the $2 that I have on this card. So my parents were able to save $2. Let's look at the actual books that I got because I'm actually excited about all of them. About half of them I've already read. The first one is The Soul of an Octopus, a surprising exploration of the wonder of consciousness by Montgomery. I read this for a different video that I did that I do not know if it's come out not before this is published. But it was all about like getting books recommended to me by my library. And when I went and bought these books, I had just gotten those recommendations, and one of the recommendations was Soul of an Octopus. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, well, I'll just buy the book because it's recommended. It's about octopuses, so very similar to like Fathoms here in terms of a book about animals. And I was like, I think I'm just gonna like this. So I bought it, and what do you know? I do like it. It goes more into depth than just like facts about octopuses. It's a really cool blend of like the author's experience with octopuses, incorporating science into that. I really liked it. I thought it was really good. I bought it, but at the time that I bought it, I had not actually read it. But as of filming, I have read it. This next book is God, A Human History by Reza Aslan, and this is a examination of not only kind of like the development of religion, but also like humanity and our relationship to religion and why religion even exists in the first place. And that I thought to be a very, very interesting premise. So I got it. This also has an audiobook. So all of these have audiobooks from, well, that's not true. Most of these have audiobooks that I bought from there. I'm very excited about this one. Next is Crack in Creation, Gene Editing and the Unthinkable Power to Control Evolution by Jennifer A. Donhua and Samuel S. Sternberg. And so this is a book all about CRISPR. If you don't know what CRISPR is like, it's not necessarily technology, but it's using biology in a technology way where we can actually edit our genome. And this is actually Dr. Jennifer Donghua was actually the person who invented CRISPR. So she's the one who figured out that we can do this. When I first learned about CRISPR in 2018, I thought it was really, really interesting, and I'm so glad that we have a book about it. And if you notice, all of the letters that are highlighted, it's the base pairs of our DNA. So it's C, T, A, and G. I thought this was going to be really cool. So next book is The Sun is Also a Star. This is by Niccolo Yoon. I read this last year in 2020. I highly enjoyed it. This is a interracial romance between this young Jamaican woman and this Korean man. He's also young too. And this takes place for the most part over a day. That's how most of their relationship develops and evolves over the course of one day. And I thought it was really interesting because it not only was like their cute romance, but it was also an exploration into like bigger topics, things like racism and black hair care, and like why do Koreans own a lot of the black hair care shops, etc, 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 etc. I really enjoyed it, so I decided I would pick it up and actually add it to my library. The next book I read is, I did read it. Next book I got is Frankly in Love. This is by David Yoon. This is I don't want to call it cute because it gets heavier than I expected it to, but I read this for a book club and I really, really enjoyed it. First of all, sprayed edges. It looks really cute. But essentially, you have this boy named Frank Lee, and he's Korean. He has all this pressure from his parents to date and marry this nice Korean good girl. Except he has no interest in dating any nice Korean good girl. He wants to date this white chick, which is a huge no-no for his family. So what he does is he winds up fake dating his friend, who is a nice Korean girl. She's also feeling the pressure from her parents to date a nice Korean boy, and hijinks ensue. So it's fake dating, which isn't a trope that I don't love. I mean, I don't like it in like theory, but I really liked it in its execution in this. And maybe it's just because I don't read enough fake dating, but I really loved it in terms of it as a tool to explore a lot of the cultural things that were happening. It's a lot heavier than you would expect for like a contemporary piece. I would highly recommend it. It was very good. I enjoyed it a lot. And the very last book is a book that I've actually been eyeing from this bookstore for years. I think I first saw it my second year and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to buy that. I'm gonna have to buy that book. The thing is that it was a good chunk of change. Like it was $35. And I was like, I know I really want to buy this book, but do I want to spend $35 on it? And then I was scared for a bit because I couldn't find it. And I was like, oh no, I should have bought it earlier. Like that was around my third year. But then I saw it again this year when I went, and I was like, okay, this is a sign. Like I need to read this. I need to not only read it, but I also need to buy it. And you know, I have all this money to blow. Let's blow it on this book. I am very excited. And that is Che, A Revolutionary Life. This is an adaptation of a biography that I have up there that I actually have not read yet. But shh, don't worry about it. And so this is a graphical biography by John Lee Anderson and Jose Hernandez. I'm not sure if Jose Hernandez does like the art or like helped adapt it, because John Lee Anderson is the writer of the original biography. Yeah, I was really excited to find this book. This one doesn't have an audiobook, obviously, because it's a graphic novel. And here is a little look at the art in the book. I'm so excited to read this. I'm so excited to own this now, and I'm very happy. All right, there you go. Those are all of the books that I got kind of like in the summertime-ish. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay healthy, get vaccinated. The Delta variant of this COVID disease is no joke. Please stay safe and protect others, and have a wonderful day. Bye.